Quick disclaimer before we get started, this video is completely spoiler free, no need to worry about any spoilers in this video. I'll just be flying through my opinion on this excellent movie, and saying what I liked about it, but there's no spoilers about the plot whatsoever. Feel free to just watch and get my kind of general consensus. I will do a spoiler-filled review once the movie's been out for a few days, talking more in-depth about what I liked, what I didn't like, but for now you can just watch this if you haven't seen the movie and hear whether or not it's good, and based on some of my previous statements, you can probably assume that it is. So Star Wars The Force Awakens was my most anticipated movie for this year. It's the most anticipated movie of all time to some people. This movie has been breaking all kinds of records in ticket sales, and everybody's looking forward to seeing this movie. The best part is that no one knows what it's about, hence my warning about spoilers, because I didn't want to ruin anything. The trailers have been so vague, and everything has been so unspecific that everybody wants to see this movie to figure out what the plot of it is. In this movie, you've got the old cast coming back, you've got Han Solo, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and you've also got new cast. And that's what I'll say of the plot of this movie is. The plot is ultimately the new cast going on an adventure, and that is the plot of this movie, and that's all I'll say. But the new cast in this movie is Daisy Ridley playing Rey. Daisy Ridley gives an absolutely beautiful performance as this character. I loved seeing her grow and develop over the course of the story. I think she's going to be a really important character going forward in this franchise, and I loved how she was set up. I loved her arc. Speaking of arcs, I really loved Finn, played by John Boyega. Him, especially in the beginning, he's the character that you start to latch onto. He has the most immediate development, and I thought that was really impressive. Another important character in this movie is Kylo Ren, the villain who they're kind of facing off against. And Kylo Ren is an absolutely fascinating villain. He has all these different qualities about him that just make him this third-dimensional person. He isn't just a Vader ripoff or anything like that. He's a character that every second he's on screen, you want to know more about him, and you want to see what he's going to do next, because he is such a human, and he isn't just like this methodical, planning, business-like bad guy. Like, Darth Vader was great and everything, and you saw a lot of his humanity, but you just see Kylo Ren, like, raging out at some points, and you see that he is just a dude, after all. Speaking more about what I like about this movie, the writing is absolutely fantastic. The only flaw I have with this movie is that there are a few conveniences here and there, but the dialogue in this movie is so well written. It's not, "Oh, I hate the sand." It's nothing like that. All the dialogue is so realistic between these characters. It's really funny. Humor is used so effectively in this movie between both the good guys, the bad guys, the old cast, the new cast. The movie flows super well. It goes from first to second to third to fourth, but not in a predictable way. Like, sometimes a movie can be predictable, like, I know exactly where this is going, but luckily you don't in this movie. It throws in plenty of twists. I've heard some critics say, oh, it draws inspiration from the original movies. Well, yeah, but any movie's gonna draw inspiration from its predecessor, especially if this is the 7th installment in your franchise. And though it does draw some inspiration from some other of the Star Wars movies, I never felt like there was a point where it was a complete ripoff. I felt like it was a very good homage to A New Hope, but there are plenty of twists and turns in here that make The Force Awakens its own standalone movie. The thing that sells this movie more than the cast, more than the excellent writing, is the directing. Because J.J. Abrams had a mountain to climb to accomplish this. Following the prequels, you need to make a Star Wars movie that completely won over fans of the original after being turned off by the prequels, and that is hard to do. But I think he did it really well. The directing in this movie is flawless. The special effects are absolutely incredible. It's almost all practical effects. Any CGI there is seamless. There's a couple CGI characters in here that are used through motion capture, and they look absolutely phenomenal. J.J. Abrams conveys the story, like I said, through the pacing. It's paced extremely well. He makes the movie flow extremely well. And not only that, but he incorporates these themes throughout the movie. Like, the reason I love the original trilogy so much is that the original trilogy of Star Wars movies has these themes running through it of friendship, family, good versus evil, and these archetypical themes that are just beautiful. But then the prequel trilogy kind of throws that away. This movie doesn't have as many of those archetypical themes, but they do have a bunch of new themes they throw in, such as alliance and becoming yourself, and a lot of themes that are very prominent in 2015, and I think J.J. Abrams portrayed those beautifully. After my friends and I saw this movie, we all went to IHOP, and we all spent about an hour and a half talking just about this movie and about the specifics and how everything was conveyed so well through the directing and conveyed so well through the script, and how fantastic the actors are, and how we just can't wait to see Rogue One a year from now, and how we can't wait to see Episode 8 a year and a half from now. It might seem like I'm fanboying out because I did grow up watching a bunch of these movies and playing with the Lego sets and everything like that, but ultimately, Star Wars The Force Awakens is not a great Star Wars movie. It is a great movie in general. Ultimately, this is one of the best theater experiences I had in 2015. It's one of the most unforgettable experiences I'll have in a theater, getting to be a part of this, and I thought that the movie was technically beautiful, I thought it was symbolically beautiful, and I absolutely can't wait to see what happens next. I know some other critics have had their complaints where, oh, not every character gets enough screen time. I completely get that. It worked for me. I understand, oh, it's kind of ripping off the original. I thought it worked as a beautiful homage. There were some conveniences here and there, but overall, Star Wars The Force Awakens, in my books, gets a 5 out of 5, and it's one of my favorite movies of the year. So guys, those are my spoiler-free thoughts on Star Wars The Force Awakens. You guys should definitely check out this movie and comment below what you thought when you do see it. But don't comment any spoilers, because if you do, then you're a complete jerk. So leave those all in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.